Hey, it's Andrew Huang. The music you're about to hear is wild. In today's episode, I'm featuring So Wiley, Eldre, and Rachel K. Collier. Normally I'm 4 producers, we all flip the same sample, but today we have a different spin on it thanks to our sponsor, Arturia. They've got V Collection 9, which is 33 really great sounding instruments, everything from their own interesting creations to recreations of classic vintage gear. They've got FX Collection 3, which is 26 awesome sounding effects. Again, everything from plug-in versions of analog gear all the way through to their own really fun, inspiring tools. So we were all gonna mainly explore those, but any Arturia stuff is fair game, and as well they said we could use whatever DAW we want, we could use stock DAW plugins, and we could use any drums we want. That's the challenge this time around. Here's what everybody came up with.
Hey, what's up? I'm Wiley. I'm a producer, composer, and sound designer. So I love to make music using organic sounds that are processed super digitally. And when I saw the Augmented Voices instrument, I immediately pulled it up. I chose the male AEIOU. And I also started playing around with the attack and decay and started playing around with the filter cutoff. I loved this. I thought it was so pretty. And so immediately I wanted to throw fragments on it. And this gave me the idea to have like a big drop. I came up with a little chord progression. I also automated the fine tune on this initial sample so that we kind of bend up into it. And then I threw on fragments and started automating the grain density and size to sort of interact with each other, because what I wanted to go for is like a expanding and contracting, sort of like almost like a breathing kind of thing. So that's gonna be my main drop chop. And I wanted to thicken it up so it's really big. And so I went into the Emulator 2, automated the frequency. This is when I started getting the idea for a bass line. So into the SQ80. Started thinking of a melody here. So what I like to do is actually record like 30 BPM slower and 2 steps down from where it will actually end up. And then I would just record it at a slower tempo. So I'm at 90 now. I'm gonna take it down to 60. I like when you come round. And this is what it sounds like when it's pitched up and also sped up. I like when you come round. Immediately, I thought of a counter melody to also go with that. So I opened up Pigments, and this instrument is so cool because it chooses basically an octave for you to play. So like, this is just me playing one note. So this is the line I ended up writing for that. At this point, I started to think of a drum groove. I saw that in Emulator, they had a ton of drum presets, and I wanted to play around in some of those. So I made this line with the antenna preset. And then I made this with the 808 Division kit. I wanted to keep it spiky. Together. I wanted to add some more vocals. So these are both me. I added a bunch of drums from just the internal Ableton packs, and altogether my drums sounded like this. I also wrote this counter melody using the CZ. And so going off of that kind of 80s feel, I wanted to use the Polybrute for this next section. And I wanted the chords to be, that 80s nostalgic feel. Needed the perfect 80s-ish bass. I chose the Mini. I also wanted to add something random to this post-chorus part, so I immediately went to the Buchla easel because this thing is absolutely wild. I highly, highly recommend playing around in this. Another thing I wanted for that post-chorus section was to have the idea of a guitar solo, but not guitar. I just sang little riffs and then time stretched them, and I ended up with this. And then I just added a bunch of cool effects. So this one, the flanger, sounds so good. Added some grit and reverb. And then I just sort of added more vocal chops and rocked out at the end. That's basically it. Thank you again for having me. Andrew, you're the best. And thank you to Arturia.
Ooh.
Oh, I love these toms already.
Fun beat.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Ooh, the little... I don't know, what is that? Playing the chords. Glockenspiel?
Ooh.
Oh, so nice.
Really cool drop.
This is gorgeous.
Nice dreamy little line on top there.
I love how like bouncy and light it is. Production's so clean.
Would love to know what's going on with the vocal processing.
I love these like, oh, I don't read what that is.
Those vocals are crazy.
Love that lead there.
Interesting place to bring the beat back in. Dig it.
I don't want it to end.
Damn.
Oh man, that's fun. I don't want that to be over. Why is it fading out?
Fade out.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, that was so cool.
Damn. That was amazing.
Wiley, that was awesome.
Yeah, I want to listen to it again.
What's up? It's Eldre. I pretty much make chill beats for a living. I just want to give a huge shout out to Andrew for having me in this iconic series. All right, so straight away I started with a sound from Pigments. It's called Clear Skies, and I came up with these chords for it. I automated some gain just to kind of make it have this little sidechain effect. And then right after that, I added something else from Analog Lab. It's like a little kalimba sound. Pretty much just the same chords on a different sound. We got the Tape Mellow plugin on that, giving it the little lo-fi texture. And we also got Rev Intensity on it to give it some nice reverb. The way I like to work is right after I get like a decent chord progression going, I like to start with the drums. As you can see, it's a lot going on here. You know, we just got like a simple kick and snare pattern with just a bunch of percussion sounds, a lot of off-grid kind of random stuff just to give it that bounce. After that, I added this bass from Analog Lab called Dirty Sub. Really simple, smooth sub bass. We got a little bit of distortion on that. And then I just decided for funsies, you know what I'm saying? I just duplicated that and I pitched up another track just to give it a little extra melodic sound. So once all that is done, this is when I like to just arrange and start adding different things here and there for the ear candy. I found this super beat up, dusty, lo-fi sounding synth right here. And In the little verse section, I wanted to add some vocal stuff, and Analog Lab has this little voices instrument, and I just kind of played around with that, got this little melody here. Got my girlfriend to sing on it, shout out to Nessence. I also put this plate reverb on it and some delay tape. This delay tape plugin has a lot of cool textures in the presets, which is nice. And then we have this little breakdown section where I used a single synth from Analog Lab on top of the little kalimba thing. This plugin called EFX Fragments. I put it on the master, just automating it in. So halfway through this little bridge section or whatever, it gets a little trippy. I hope you guys like the track. Peace.
I love that little bird call in the background.
We got a nice side chain.
These synths are lush. Nice.
Instantaneous vibe. What?
This texture is so rich.
I love those extra, more high-endy things that are sort of melting outward. This is so nice.
This mix feels really nicely balanced, like full, clear, crisp.
I love all this like tape and vinyl vibes.
Great textures coming in throughout too.
So many beautiful little details in this that I'm just, I'm drinking it up.
It's mega dreamy, so nice.
So dreamy and beautiful.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, loving this, Eldre.
I love the little slivers of things I'm hearing on the like widest pans.
I feel like I just want to lie down and do nothing else.
Wow, I love that. You're so good. What?
That was super lush vibes.
This is like the most fun I've ever had.
That was so nice. That one also could definitely have gone on longer. Loved it.
Hey everybody, Rachel K. Collier here. Let me show you what I've made. Because of my true love for the Mini Brute, I was drawn to the Poly Brute. The same gritty feel. I was just so excited to play it. Found this incredible bass preset. Check this sound out. I decided I wanted to make a really vibey, atmospheric intro. I created a nice little drone. I then found this little preset and added this riff processed with some reverb intensity from the FX3 collection. A little bit of filtering. And one more croupy riff here, the soft OB pad, again from Poly Brute with the spring reverb. Really creepy. And then using this full Rockin' Tubes preset, which is actually a lead sound, I put it in the poly mode. Just play like an open fifth, sounds like this with a bit of distortion. And then with this very cool preset from the Intensity Reverb Expression, I got this kind of like do sound. And so then when I was building the arrangement, I couldn't help myself but add a little moody 4-liner vocal hook, which I've heavily filtered in, automated up some delay, eternity, got the plate reverb, and the tape mellowify, which I have used everywhere in this session. And whilst I was in the vocal zone, I wanted to make some kind of like vocal pad, which was quite interesting. Sounds terrible without the effects, but with the Filter M12 here, gave it a funky little rhythm. The distortion, disc tube culture, and my filtering, I thought it really added to the vibe. For my drop, I really wanted to switch it up, and I went for this kind of like stompy swung kind of style. So here's a little peek of the drums. Absolutely loving the bus force from the FX3. Really added lots of character and some distortion. Then with the bass line, I tried out loads of different things, slow moving, fast moving, and in the end I found this preset called Chonky, which I added a little bit of LFO to. And then to complete the bass feel, I went back to my preset and just recorded a long take of playing with the master cutoff, processed with the Chorus Dimension D and the Comp VCA65, a few stock plugins, sounded like this. Then for some vocals in my drop, I just threw the hook into a simpler, added a little bit of chorus, EQ, and came up with this little line. Felt quite boring to go back to the same chords as in the intro for verse 2, so I found this lovely sound, Late Night Poem, tweaked the reverb time, reverb level, bit of the chorus, and I thought that this nice B flat, F minor, and E flat sounded quite cool. And then I brought back the vocals, but this time I re-sung it with a little bit more of a loose feel and processed it quite differently with the Juno chorus. And I did some automation with the reverb intensity. Added an octave lower vocal and some doubles. And then I couldn't resist just going nuts. I wanted to add some more synths. Plate reverb on there, some distortion, which I've automated as well. I hope you like my track.
Ooh. Love how human those little bits feel.
This is so neat. Really fun hook, but it's like all filtered down.
Ooh.
Ooh. This one is super expansive, like...
Did I just step into the movie theater, bro?
Whoa!
Woo!
Oh, the sound design is wild here.
Ooh.
Suddenly we're sort of in triplets.
Rachel, what are you doing? This is so good.
Those vocals are crazy.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Ooh. This is all, there's something almost romantic about this. Feels like I'm having a memory.
Damn, this is beautiful.
I love how you hint at the triplets a little bit before that full triplety groove hits.
That was a masterpiece.
Wow. That was so good.
Wow. Damn.
Y'all are a little too talented. What?
So my track was and is a real journey. I thought I would start by just making a bunch of noise and seeing what happened. So I pulled up Fragments, which is one of my favorite granular plugins actually. Just made sounds with it for like 15 minutes and printed it all to audio, and then chopped out some of my favorite pieces and started kind of playing with them. So that was just from running a few different presets on synths through different presets on Fragments, you know, tweaking things a bunch, obviously, and I ended up in this kind of dubstep Nero bass territory. But I tried making a beat with it and actually didn't like it, so I thought I was gonna completely scrap that idea. I started on a new idea running this piano through the Tape Mellowfi plugin. Just something old and lo-fi and vibey sounding. I added a lead over top of it using 2 pigments. And then I wanted to build out the atmosphere, so I tried out augmented voices and added just this low note. It felt very cinematic and mysterious, so I just added this slow line on top with another augmented voices as well as a layer of the Prophet. But then I noticed I had been doing all of these experiments at a perfect D&B tempo. Maybe I'll bring back the Nero idea. So on top of those synth atmospheres, I started building out this little drum and bass type beat. Little trick I picked up from Susan Rogers, putting chorus on some of the like aux percussion hi-hat elements. Just something that sometimes works if you want to add a little bit of life, a little bit of sauce to those less important drum elements. Wouldn't do it on a kick drum. And as I continued developing that section, I added a bunch more synths. We've got this Prophet. Got another Pigments doing this kind of pingy thing that ends up turning into a riser. That's layered with another Pigments doing a much more risery riser. Also added one more little kind of lead or fill synth, I guess, to this section, which I called the Crystal Sound. Pigments, again into Fragments. All those beautiful little granular textures. Every time I hear that stuff, I just feel like I'm in the soil and there's little mushrooms growing around my head. Just thought I would share that. That's a very specific thing that happens to me every time I hear that sound. Also in parallel with that, it's going into reverb intensity. Gorgeous reverb. All right, so this was all building up to some kind of D&B Neurofunk drop, and this is what I came up with for the drop. I used 5 different Pigments presets, came up with the bass line, modulated the sounds a bit, and chose certain ones to stack at different times. I've also got this one running into the Op Amp 21 distortion, which is pretty rad. Here's without. Here are the drums when they're like at full for this section. Using Bus Force for some parallel compression. In some sections on top of the beat that I programmed, I just added breakbeat samples, like a whole variety of them, just to keep the texture of the drums changing. And here they are together. After the drop, I was feeling like I still wanted a high energy section, but it had to be a different type of high energy. So I went to Acid, 2 instances of the SEM doing octaves. Now on the end of this section, I threw the drums through this filter and then sent that to a delay. And as that's bringing out, I brought back my piano idea. Built this out a bit to kind of be our final ending section where there's a slower sort of hip-hop inspired beat that comes in. Added Pigments doing a sub. So I did end up using the very first stuff I did, all of that fragments audio that I printed. I used it in a ton of places. It was super handy to kind of have this grab bag of cool sounds to throw in the track. A couple of these cool little breaks during the Neurofunk drop. That's also going to delay eternity at the end here. Throughout a lot of the more atmospheric parts of the track too, I was throwing those fragments bits through some reverb. Like, how gorgeous is reverb intensity though? So just like background effects where it sounds like robots are in a cave building other robots. Some worked really well as risers or swells. This little noise before the drop. It's like a modem from a sci-fi movie. Speaking of little effects details, I did also come up with this noise hit kind of thing, modifying a Pigments preset. Use that as an impact a couple times. And the last thing I'll share with you actually is I used Tube Culture on some of my buses to just crunch things up for transitions. I loved what it did here. I also named my track Tesla Coil after this Pigments preset, which sounds so awesome. So yeah, that's my track Tesla Coil, or that's all the little bits and pieces that make it up. Here's the full thing. Hope you enjoy.
Ooh, deep.
Ooh, creepy vibes.
I'm scared.
Oh, I love this little build.
I love those little hi-hats. Woo! It's kind of landing, but still growing, which I really like.
Got some cool panning stuff going on.
I feel kind of tense.
I like that riser. Bass is so dirty.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is sick. Like I'll turn it up.
Oh, geez.
I love the mix on this. It feels very wide but super focused.
This is getting me really hyped right now. Ooh. Oh, nice.
About to start sweating.
Oh, I love these chords. Sounds in this is really nice, juxtaposed with that like heavy beat.
I love that kick.
That's hard.
Got such a range of emotion in here. It's almost like I'm coming to a realization of some kind, like...
Oh, wow.
Bravo. Bravo, Andrew, that was sick.
Dude, insane, dude.
Yes, Andrew. Yes, everybody. Slamming tracks. I'm just gonna listen to them all again now.
I'm gonna put some links around if you wanna check out the Arturia stuff we were using. Thanks again to them for sponsoring this video and making this happen. There's also gonna be links for all the music we made if you wanna listen to the full tracks without all our commentary. And yeah, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of any of this music. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.